Hi folks, I'm just doing a series on my experiences having a half biological sister that was given up by her birth mom for adoption, and just how situations have caused us to have lots of dysfunction and issues. So I will just start by giving a brief background, and that is I found my dad when I was 17. He didn't know I existed. And I was raised by my mom, single, working, wonderful person. She was a foster parent as far back as I can remember. She started when I was 3 and fostered till the day she passed away when I was almost 25. So I've had a lot of sisters, over 100, and all kinds, and some I am still in contact with at the age of 40. So, as hard as it was at some points, I do appreciate that journey and the connections that I've made and maintained. So with that in mind, when I found my dad at 17, due to deep curiosity and the desire and need to know where half of my biology is from, half of my genetics. I needed to know. So on that level, I can very much relate to a person that was given up for adoption. I know that want and that need to know your parent or parents. So when I located him at 17, he, with very open arms and a willingness to build a relationship with me and get to know me. He, at that time of our initial meeting, told me that I have a sister through him, so a half biological sister that had been given up and raised by her adoptive family, but she had located him as well in her 20s, and that she's a nice lady. She lives in Nova Scotia. She's lived there her entire life, born and raised there, and that was something I thought was cool, just for the simple fact that at that point, I just had a ton of sisters, but none were biologically connected to me. So for the first time ever, I thought, oh, that's so cool. I have a sister that genetically we're connected. So we had a relationship from afar. So we would connect a few times a year by phone for updates and convo and birthdays, and she would do summer vacations, sometimes coming to Ontario to visit other family, and we would have brief visits that were very nice and simple. And so for that 20 years or so before I moved to Nova Scotia, we had a relationship and were connected, but again, only through a handful of conversations by phone and a couple visits. So, my impression of her was she was very nice, she was smart, she was a French teacher at a French immersion elementary school, and, just, positive, nothing to worry me. So fast forward to 2019, when Andrew and I had our son Ian. We needed to move for Andrew's career so that we could support our growing family. So when we were contacted, or rather Andrew was contacted to consider a job in Nova Scotia, we took that opportunity and had planned our move to Nova Scotia from London, Ontario. So I also thought, well, this might be a good opportunity to establish, a stronger relationship with my sister, being closer to her and so far from my family and friends in Ontario. And then unfortunately, our son Ian passed just before our move to Nova Scotia. So that was very, very hard. That was devastating and traumatic for me and Andrew. So we moved to Nova Scotia. We continue with our original plan, and we move. And then a few months later, so that was in late 2019, we moved to Nova Scotia. And then early 2020, COVID hit. And that also was very hard to cope with at that time. So there was all of this happening, and so now I've lost, Mom, I've lost Ian, and I'm just, I'm struggling, but I'm doing my best. And the events that followed surrounding the relationship I have with Rebecca and situations that happened really, really had a negative toll on our relationship and my feelings about my half biological sister. So I'm going to do this series and just focus on specific situations or events that really affected me in negative ways, and that's where we're gonna go with this series. We're just gonna talk about these situations and what came of those situations and where that's left me in my feelings with her today. Okay, so the first situation we're going to discuss is about the situation was she had adopted 2 twin girls that were older out of social services and had them, I believe, from the time they were 13. And this situation was surrounding the 2 twins. They connected with their biological family once they turned 18. Okay, so just a little background to do with this situation as well is that she had also adopted a son before the twins, and when it was time for the son to connect with his biological mother, Rebecca very much controlled how that played out and how that went, and she was she orchestrated how that played out and had control of it. And with the girls, when they turned 18 in early October of 2020, the twins, they reconnected without her having any part of it or any control over the situation. So she had, I'm going to use the word relentlessly complained and was upset about them meeting up or connecting with their biological mother and a few siblings. And she found out after this happened, and it really, I think it made her angry. It hurt her feelings and it made her angry, and mostly to do with the fact she wasn't in control of it. So she discussed how she was so hurt and how she wasn't told, and those types of feelings. So because she had complained about that, every time we spoke following them connecting with their birth family, I reached out to both of the girls and just said, hey, like, I think your mom's pretty hurt that you didn't maybe tell her that you had planned and wanted to connect with your birth family, and she felt she was left out of it, and she was just upset. So I told the girls these things, and the girls both got very upset about it, and both of them told me in response that she did know. So Rebecca's my half sister. She had lied to me and told me she was not aware that was their plan, and they responded with, yes, she did know that was their plan and that was their intention, and they were going to do that. And so that situation told me that, you know, she may lie in situations to be the victim, and ultimately the girls were adults, and they did tell, at that time they turned 18, they did all along tell Rebecca that they intended to reconnect with the birth family once they were adults. And by me reaching out to the girls and informing them that, you know, Rebecca was hurt and felt left out of the plan, that brought to light that Rebecca was talking about it and telling people that she was hurt when she knew all along that was the plan, the girl's plan. So the outcome of that entire situation and me contacting the girls to then find out the truth was that my birthday is at the end of October, and Rebecca and I had plans for her to come visit and stay with Andrew and I in Auntie and Ish, where we were living, for my birthday. It was my first birthday away from, well, technically my second birthday, but my first birthday in Nova Scotia, away from all of my family and friends, and I was happy to have her come and celebrate with me. And the day of my birthday, she called, and this was during the time when she technically should have been driving to where I was living, to tell me that she was not coming because of what I did, because I reached out to the girls to tell them about Rebecca being upset, and that she wasn't going to come for my birthday because of what I did. Okay, that's fine. So I accepted that. I have already contacted the girls again to apologize and to try to resolve something that I did, which was essentially expose my sister for telling people that they were bad kids for not telling her they were contacting their birth family. So now she's not coming to my birthday. And then to add to that, she also would not communicate or contact me for over 6 months. So now I've lost my mom, I've lost Ian, and one of my biggest personal issues and worries is that I lose people I love. that's a big thing for me. Like, I've lost two of the most important people you'll ever have in your life, and I'm just so affected by the fact that she caused me to once again lose someone that I felt, like that would be a big loss. Like, to lose another family member, and all because I spoke up on her behalf, and now I'm in trouble. I'm being shut out. I'm being not communicated with. I'm just stuck, just, literally outside of Andrew and Dad, completely alone out there. And that situation was super hard for me to go through. Losing someone that is still alive and being punished because she lied about being hurt and being not included in the girls meeting their biological family. And not meeting, they knew who their family was, but could not reach out to them until they were adults. That I am now losing another person in my life. And that was incredibly hard. I don't want to use the word traumatizing, but it in some degree it was traumatizing. It brought me right back to, you've lost another person, and it's your fault. Like, my fault. So, being not communicated with, because I got her in, I don't want to use the word trouble, but I exposed her for telling lies. And I'm being punished by being not talked to. And she knew that I have a hard time with losing people, obviously, and that is the way she chose to, I guess, teach me a lesson, or punish me, rather than talk to me and come to an understanding and have, some respect and like, just communication. I was just straight up, cut off. Knowing that loss was a big thing, that was difficult for me, and she went ahead and did that anyway. So that was one situation that happened, and I hadn't even been in Nova Scotia a full year at that point. And I often wonder, how do you know that your sister or someone that you would think would be important to you has experienced loss, such great loss, and you purposely do that to you purposely made me lose someone again just because you got caught lying. Like that was hard for me. And to this day, I still don't understand how someone could do that to someone else with all the background knowledge and I can't imagine doing that to someone I care about. I just can't. And it was a situation that ultimately was so just it was unnecessary, and she could have discussed how she was, upset that, maybe she wasn't included, but that was their plan and that was their intention to meet up with their biological family, and that she had wished she had been included. But instead added that it was all a secret, it was behind her back, and it wasn't. And I was the only person in the entire scenario that was punished. And not just because you bailed on my birthday, day of, but then not to talk to me for over 6 months for a situation she created and involved me. No, I didn't have to reach out to the girls, but I felt that she had complained about the situation so much that someone had to say something to the girls. And to find out that she did know, and then I got blamed for the entire thing, was just so hard. And I can't to this day understand why her way of displaying dissatisfaction with me reaching out to the girls and exposing her lie was to completely cut off communication. So that is the first situation I've decided to share to provide some insight into the future situations I will be sharing with you. And I don't know if her being adopted was something that probably or more than likely contributed to her doing this to me, but it was cruel, and we never discussed it further. And this happened in 2020, and I still am bothered by it. And I hope that, going forward, when I continue to share situations, that someone else out there in my similar situation may be able to relate or understand that they're not alone, that that this is the stuff that happens when you try to form a relationship with a sibling that was raised not only by a different parent, but adoptive parents. So has anyone else experienced a situation like this? Please leave a comment.